Cool. Looks like we are live. Thanks everybody for joining another episode of the Cross Project Council meeting. Today is the 6th of July, 2021. Drop a link to the recording into the doc. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Do we have any announcements before we get into things?
Have we spoken since the last board meeting?
I don't think so.
So maybe board meeting updates, is now a good time for that, or?
Sure.
Yeah. So Michael, let me know if I'm missing anything. I think from the last board meeting, the big takeaways were our huge event. I think we had a lot of great information from Rachel about engagement that could be found on YouTube. I believe, do the board meetings get archived on YouTube?
Yes.
The public portion, yes. Yeah.
For the public portion that we found on YouTube. Additionally, we talked a bit about our the change in the travel fund, how we're now going to allow that to open up for projects. Anything I'm missing from the public session, Michael or Robin?
Well, nothing else comes to mind.
And when you say the travel fund, is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's now the community fund and will be just more opened up? Is that correct? Or are those separate? Okay.
Correct. No, community fund.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And then the only other discussion is that we have been thinking about and getting budgets around how our event in Austin will come together. We're pausing our program committee, giving our program committee from the CPC a break for July, and then we'll reconvene in August and hopefully have a really great plan for Austin and hybrid next year.
When is that planned for?
June 7th and 8th. It's already on the website. So you can add your name or your email and you can get more information as details come together. But ideally, we would like to go out and start selling sponsorships in September and booking keynote folks in September, October. So it comes up quickly.
You said June 7th and 8th? I'm just trying to take notes here.
Or am I wrong?
I'm just taking notes. I'm not looking.
I have so many dates in my head right now. Hold on.
Yeah, I have an important dates to remember note.
June 7th and 8th. So if you go to our website, if you go to events, there's a drop down for 2022, OpenJS World.
Okay.
Kind of exciting. We even have our graphics done. So it's already coming together.
Wow, so fast.
No.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put this just in terms of announcements. Program committee will pick back up. All right, great. Anything else? I mean, I guess I wasn't able to attend the working session last week. Does anybody can they summarize or get us up to speed on that at all?
It was a powerful session with Michael and Robin.
Yeah. It ended up being more of a one-on-one after Robin did share the proposal, like her starter proposal for scholarships and stuff. But then we mostly talked about other stuff.
So it was a good working session for us. You're muted, Joe.
Oh, yes, thank you. Sorry. I have a place here that's right on the main intersection, so it's a little loud. Cool. All right. Do we want to then, since we're kind of talking about it, do we want to talk about real quickly what we want to do for next week's working session? Will we just do the community fund again?
Yeah, I was going to ask if do you think it'll be in a place that we can be helpful?
I think we plan to do another session on the community fund and then do one on the technical strategy. I can't make it next week. So,
Okay. Well,
Should be
Yeah.
here. Let me check.
oh, I can't make it next week either, right, Michael? We have the same.
yeah, we have the same meeting, but since we kind of missed the community fund one from last week, I'd suggest scheduling that for the next one.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, we'll pencil that in. If we want to discuss it any further, we can do it in Slack. I said community fun in the notes. That's
Community fund, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Sarah also says that she can't make it next week either. So we'll see. I mean, maybe we can take this offline, chat about it in Slack or whatever, but I don't know if we want to just try to move the meeting.
Or we could maybe get a lot of it done in this meeting, just,
Mhm.
do some of it in a private session. We could probably make some decisions and get moving.
Yeah, I have this hour block, so let's run through the agenda and then see what we can do there. Cool. I'm looking at the agenda and I don't know if there's anything to discuss here. Reminders for long-term events is issue 758. That is really on my list of something to work on, in addition to some of the work around like meeting management that's been happening, but I think it's kind of slowed lately. So I don't have any updates there, but it's definitely been on my mind. I don't know if anybody has anything to add there. If they do, speak up. Otherwise, I'll just kind of run through this. The next issue is create proposals for the community fund, which we were just talking about, and we may talk about more in a private session, and then provide implementation and guidance for DCO CLA. So I know that there was some chatter on Twitter recently about some of that. I don't know. I know Brian was going to look back at the PR that he has open against the DCO work, but I don't know if there's any really update or anything there.
I don't have an update from Brian on that, so he's been we've been pretty. I know that he's sort of waiting on some of the maintainers from GitHub, and that's a big process. So.
Does anybody have a quick summary of what was going on Twitter? I was a little wrapped up with other things to really dig into it. Okay, Michael may know, but he's just the chair. Hey, Michael.
Hello.
You mean-
Sorry, back.
Quick question, and we're pretty much done with the agenda here, but
Yep.
Can you summarize what was going on Twitter with the Node DCO stuff? Do you know?
There's just been, we've been kind of waiting on this issue to take next steps. And I think there were just some people grumbling that we should be doing something that we haven't yet.
Okay. All right, cool. Great. Well, I will try to check in with Brian at some point soon, and we'll see what we can do. Does anybody have anything else they want to discuss here?
Let me just give a high-level overview of what Michael and I discussed, and then maybe we can go into a private session. For the community fund, we thought we would, take a first sort of experiment in applying that fund toward a Node.js training and certification, because that's an established program we have already through OpenJS in partnership with the Linux Foundation. And the Linux Foundation has a program called the LIFT. It's a scholarship, and they essentially do it once a year. They do have web scholarships, so some of those folks that they award may use those for Node, but we want to do something specific for the community for the Node.js training and certification. So let me go to my plan, and I'll share this link with you all shortly. But there is plenty of public information on the LIFT scholarship and the variety of categories by technologies. And the training the process essentially is they receive all of those scholarships applications, and then they sort of do a first pass because there's some sort of spammy ones and like one word answer ones. And so after they take that, they have a small committee of 2 people review all of those and make recommendations. And then it goes to the final approvers. And then the awards are made. And they actually just announced those last week. So if you want to take a look at the blog on the Linux Foundation. And the process is, once you receive an award, you have 3 months to redeem your code. And then once you receive your code, you have 12 months to redeem the training. And the reason that is just because, you know, we all use the same team at the Linux Foundation for training, is folks generally wait until the end of the year to take their exam. They do a lot of studying, and we do recommend that you study. There are free training courses available. But it's just the way that the backend system is sort of programmed. So it would be hard to sort of break that for any other model. We could make a decision, for example, that if you don't redeem your code after 3 months, it's rescinded and somebody else can use it. So we had talked a little bit about that, and I think our last meeting. But that's generally how the Linux Foundation process works. Their application link is public. I have that in our plan. And I think the decisions that we're going to have to make are some of the categories, and I'm happy to write up the application. It essentially is an honor system, which I would honor as well. I think that's the right way to go. And then for our team, we need to figure out kind of what does that review process look like? And then how frequently do we do it, and how many do we issue from a budget perspective? So that's it in a nutshell. And I can share with you some links and some more budget numbers in a planning session.
Okay, great. Thank you. Cool.
From my perspective, one of the advantages of reusing the lift is, like, they will have already figured out some of the trickier issues and stuff like that. So if we can, you know, leverage the approach that they're using, that's good. Sounds like we can't necessarily just piggyback because it's only yearly and we'll want to do something sooner than that, but hopefully at least the approach we can steal good parts of.
Yeah, sounds great. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, we even I would even recommend maybe we use the same branding, the lift, and just so we can, when they do have their yearly, we take advantage of that. And then we do sort of off cycle as well.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay, well, we can dig into that further. Is there anything more we want to talk in a public setting, or should we jump to private and then do some more of a working session as well? Nothing? Cool. Let's call the public meeting a wrap. I will end the live stream. Thanks everybody for